All right, hello. It's Rowan Ravenwolf, and I'm here for Tuesday Tarot. So, yay! Just gonna invite a few people. Maybe. What the? Boy, this is kind of funky today. Oh, there we go. All right, so welcome to Tarot Tuesday. And if you are new here, I am Rowan Ravenwolf. I am a practicing witch, and I like doing tarot cards, so I do read tarot cards. And hello and welcome. I see Candace is here and Bren is here. Thank you so much for coming. So Tarot Tuesday, I'm going to give tips and tricks if you have tarot cards and want to learn how to read, but I'm also doing one card readings. So if you have a question you would like a card pulled, please let me know your question. We'll go for about an hour, hour and a half, as long as questions are coming in. And I don't have like a ton of tarot tips tonight, just a few. So we'll see how well that goes. I host Witchy Book Club, and I decided to bring it actually onto TikTok. So if you are a Patreon member, you're going to get a deep dive on Tuesday nights. There's a video that we'll post. But on Sunday at 8:30 p.m. Central Standard Time, we're going to dive into The Anatomy of the Spirit by Carolyn Myss. This is actually not a witchy book, even though it's Witchy Book Club. I do bring spiritual books into it too. And this one is actually talking about healing, and Carolyn Myss is a medical intuitive. So this is a really cool book. So every week we're going to go over a section of the book, whether like the first part is the introduction, and then we'll be doing chapter 2 in a week, or chapter 1 in a week, and then chapter 2. So if you are interested, it's Anatomy of Spirit. You don't have to read the book. If you've read the book, or if you want to come up on panel while we have discussions, you can feel free to join in on Sunday at 8:30. And usually I do go live on Thursday. This Thursday, I will not. It is Ostara. So I'm so excited because it is spring equinox, and I am hosting ritual for those that celebrate Ostara. So I will be having a beautiful spring celebration, and hopefully a bonfire if weather holds out for me, so that I can have like a big bonfire going. And I will probably take pictures of the bonfire and post them. So maybe get a little bit of the fire dancing, because that's always fun. So that's just a little bit about me. Yes, tarot. Oh, well, Brian, you've been up. I can let you come up because I don't mind having people up. So we can kind of talk about tarot tips. So if you want to come up, please feel free. So.
Oh boy. Now the tarot tips I got. Oh boy. I have a zillion of them.
Right? There's so many little things that we can do with tarot.
I would say the biggest tip that I can say for anybody, and this goes for anybody that's fresh meat with it or seasoned and really advanced. Look at a deck as its own language. And each deck speaks in its own unique way. Of course, you might have the same judgment, okay, but the way that the judgment is being portrayed can be vastly different. For an example, the regular one, well, not the regular, the Rider-Waite-Smith, you have the judgment with I believe it's Gabriel. Gabriel, and then the three coffins opening up, and then the male, female, and the child are just raising up like, oh, we're up again. And comparing that to, like, say, the Ghost Tarot, where it actually has just one skeleton reaching up, and then there's a ghost looking down and reaching, like, to pull it out of the grave. That does kind of show two different sides of that energy of judgment. One is more, I would have to say, more divinely inspired, and the other one is more, it's more personal, because only one is coming out of the grave. So it's more deeper, if that makes sense.
No, it makes sense. Which I'm trying to like actually, because you were talking, I was trying to pull. I'm going to try to pull a card so that just there can be a difference. Let's see. Man. Because they are each their own language, and I love that verbiage. That verbiage makes it hopefully will help people. Let's see. I think I pulled one of these. Nope.
And this is what the judgment card is from that deck that I just described.
I have that deck.
Look at that.
I have so many decks. Every time I get a new deck, my husband, like, he kind of rolls his eyes. He's like, how many
Another
decks
one?
are you read with? Yeah.
Another
like,
one? Yeah. You don't understand, okay? They're all different. But they're
exactly. And the funny thing is that I keep, I have my regular Rider-Waite upstairs. So down here I have my Romanian deck. So
Oh, that's the is that the one that has the lovers card and it's two ladies fighting over a man and then there's Cupid above? Is it that one?
no, this is just the regular Rider-Waite.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Yeah. This just happens to be. So any country you go in, you will be able to get the cards in the language. So I'm like, oh, I'm going to get regular Rider-Waite in every language. So just for fun. I mean, like how fun is that? So, okay, I grabbed so the Hermit will be able to work. So at least I thought I had the Hermit. No, I don't. Okay. We'll keep going then. Oh, there we go. Okay. So just like Bren said, so here's the Rider-Waite deck. And there we've got the Fool. And this is my favorite deck to read with, the Shadowscape deck. There's the Fool. You can see there's like a lot of differences. And so you don't necessarily need the book, but you need to know symbolism and you need to be in touch with them intuitively. But yes, it is a different language. Each deck is a different language.
Yep, and like, let's see, because I'll bring out the tarot that I designed, which is the Seduction of Shadows tarot, and I'll get the full card out of that one. And with the way that I did this deck, I changed pretty much all the card names and all the suit names. So it's like its own unique thing, but it still follows the traditional route to an extent.
And please feel free to put your information for your deck in the comments too, so anybody watching can pick it up if they want.
Where the heck is it?
I know, as we dig through, because I'm looking, it is fun to compare decks. It's like so much fun to compare decks.
So this is how I depicted it as the Fool.
Ooh, that one's cool.
And we see how she's, in a way, it's kind of like, okay, looking out into the sun, looking outward, being on the edge at the bottom there, looking out at all the possibility. But then there's also the figure of like what could be like the sun or the moon up there. She's looking upward at it, not paying attention to what's down below. But it does kind of give that vibe of like, oh, this limitless potential.
Yeah.
And I didn't add a pooch into that one, but I mean, and I called it instead the Vestal.
Ooh, see, that's a cool name. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah, and I don't have it. I was going to say, do I have I have the Druid deck, and the Druid deck, they don't use any of the same names either. But here's another Fool. This is from the Witch's Tarot.
Oh, I have.
But it's very similar. Right. Yeah, this one's a fun one too. There's so many fun ones. Like, that's my other favorite. I usually carry it in my purse. The box is falling apart. So it's
I have
easy.
To say, the Queen of Swords in that deck is one of my favorites because she's just literally kicking back in her chair and literally flipping off someone like, no.
Yep. Yeah. Yeah. I love this deck. So yeah, Witch's Tarot, that's a fun deck too. There's so many great decks out there, but yes, they are all so totally different. And I do like when we get different artwork too, because the readings are so different. I'll actually put like different decks out when I'm doing readings for people, like even at events. And when they ask the question, a lot of times I'll be like, you're supposed to have this deck because different decks have different meanings. And, depending on the energy that the Quorn's putting out, and the energy, the question, and sometimes like one deck will be like screaming at me like you're supposed to use me. I don't know if you have that experience too,
Oh
but I get
yes,
that
I do.
experience.
And that's why, me personally, I prefer to have like the person that I'm reading just pick a number between 1 and I think it's up to 49 now, because each number is a specific deck, and I just shuffle, like I randomize it in my head, so I know exactly which one it is. But even also, like for example, the Tarot de la Nuit, I believe, has it. Yeah, Tarot de la Nuit and Tarot Apocalypse, they have an additional card in it. Tarot de la Nuit has the what is it called? It's the Dark Angel of De La Nuit, and
Okay.
Apocalypse has the All Gifted, which is supposed to be Pandora.
One of my favorite decks is El Goliath Tarot, and it's all animals, but he has 98 cards in the set.
Ooh.
Yes, and you might be able to still find it. He's not printing anymore. He's from Australia. It was a pretty hefty price, especially with shipping, but it was worth it. Um, it's a beautiful black and white deck. I don't have one. I don't have it down here. I hear you hear me say I don't have one. I have two of his decks because the first edition, the cards were really big, and I have little hands, and the cards were like way bigger than my hands. And so the second edition, people were like, I wish the cards were smaller. And so he did more standardized size. But there is a specific yes and no. So if you're pulling the cards, you will get a yes and no. And then there's like additional cards. So you do actually have to read the book because his meanings mean something. But he does have a YouTube channel where he actually goes over each card in detail for like about an hour or an hour and a half, which is really neat. But yeah, it's a big deck. So so it's a lot of fun. And I see Azrael's here under an alias today.
He's secret agent.
Which is fine. I know. All of a sudden I saw you don't know who I am, and I'm like, I like looked. I'm like, oh, because I have a hard time checking the comments. I'll get used to it. So, how are you tonight, Azrael? Oh, you know what? You have like one bar. Those spirits are like messing with your service.
There you
Going
go.
off
Can
the
you hear me
grill.
now? Can you hear
Oh,
me?
we heard you just then.
All right.
Yep.
Yep. I got my however, I don't even know what today has been working so much. I'm lost track. So it
Well,
was
glad you're
beautiful.
here.
I'm doing good. So I left the house with some thermal pants. Meaning the double layer pants. Winter socks, my boots, thermal sweater, thermal hoodie, and I was at one of my jobs, and I'm like sweating. I'm like, what in the world? Why am I sweating so much? And then I looked at my phone. It was 70 degrees, and I never checked. I never checked the temperature today. So I kicked my butt. So then I had to go to a store and buy two T-shirts, and then switched
Oh,
over to at least a T-shirt. But I'm doing good. I love both of you. The cards both of you guys are showing. The one that Brent has and yourself too. The Druid one.
yeah, there's some pretty cool ones. And I know, Bren, you just showed a couple. If you want to show those cards too and give a little attention to them, that would be fine. And then I'll show a really cool deck too. It's tarot show and tell. Oh, you're on mute, hun. And look, Bren and I are wearing like the same color shirt too.
Planned. All planned.
Yeah. How did we do that?
Yeah, but I never can see. So this is Tarot Apocalypse. This is the bonus card. Wait, let me flip it again. Flip. Okay.
Ooh, that one's cool.
Yeah, this is supposed to be Pandora, which is the bonus card in the deck. And this one is mixed culture. So this one has Kemetic, but the majors are like varying depending on like different cultures and all that. So this one would be around like the Abrahamic Judaism. This is supposed to be Inanna.
Ooh.
Empress. The cups is the Greeks. And then, well, yep, there's Our Lady, Mary, for the star. Yeah, Egyptian does have most of the Chemetics. That's the Seven of Wands. The Norsemen are the swords. And there's also American Native. That's the Hangman. There's Roman. What's her name? Not Nike, but yeah, that's the Roman. Roman's in there. There's Apollo for the King of Cups, which then what was that, Ezreal?
The Roman was Mercury.
Oh, yeah, it could be Mercury.
This one is the Pentacles are from India. There is what's her name? What is her name? I know exactly who she is, but her name's escaping me. I know exactly.
Is that Lakash? Is that Lakash? Is that Lakash? I'm blanking on the name too. Like I can see it, but I can't.
Oh, Mott.
Oh, Mott. Okay.
Yes. Let's see. That's the Lovers.
That one's fun.
Here's the Death card. I like this one.
That is a cool death card.
Yep, that's Santisima Murte. The Hermits from what is that? It's a tribe from Alaska. The American natives from there.
Oh my gosh, I was just reading about them. There's 2 different tribes up there.
I believe it's the Inuit.
Okay.
Believe so.
The other one begins with an A.
That's the King of Wands. That's supposed to be Horus. And on the blades. Forget which one I have. There's the meter.
Oh, that one's cool.
Strength is Ma Durga. But yeah, mainly the Tarot Apocalypse it's a multicultural deck that pretty much tries to tie in everything all together. So there's Apollo, or at least no, that's Helios, not Apollo. But the Fool in this deck, it's a whirling dervish on a cliff.
Wow.
The devil is literally looks like either Pan or let's see what else we got in here. Yeah, because I mean I've had this deck for a while and I've used it quite a bit, as you can tell with the war edges. But I mean, it also is supposed to go alongside the Tarot Illuminati. This is supposed to be like the second part of it, and this one is the Tower. That's in a Gordy.
That is really a fun deck. I might have to.
It is fun. It takes you all over the place. Like there's the Great Flood of the World.
Wow.
As a judgment card.
I mean, and that's a great deck because it touches like all spiritual cultures too.
Mm-hmm.
That's what's really kind of neat.
There's La Moon, which is Hecate.
That one. That's awesome.
And now, usually, at least for me, whenever I read Tarot, whenever the Hierophant pops up, that is one of the only few cards is like, okay, what deck am I using? Because each Hierophant is completely different. This, for Apocalypse, is actually showing how a guru can be anybody at any age.
That
Because you
is
see how there's a child at the bottom, and then they're bowing to the child, and then it's showing how he's getting older and older.
that's almost like when they train the Dalai Lama because they know who the new Dalai Lama is and is trained as a child. That's kind of cool.
Yeah. Now that whenever if that Hierophant comes out, I'm like, okay, so we're having a much more traditional, more sacred type of Hierophant. While the other one comes out, it's like, oh, it's the Pope. You better listen to me. I'm going to send you to hell. Well, okay.
Right, yeah, the Pope one's always that's one reason why I don't I mean I like the Rider-Waite deck and it's really great resource, but I mean I take it with me most of the time, but I do like the other decks because it's not so strictly Catholic.
And even with my deck that I made, I mean, I took it in a completely different direction, but because for me, how I depicted it was known as the voluptuous, which you're thinking that doesn't really sound like something that's like traditional. Well, yeah, but the main intent of this deck, it's of course a Lilith-inspired deck, so having that traditional value of the empowerment of the self, and I mean when you see, oh there it is. So that's how I depicted it.
Oh, that's cool. And don't forget to put your stuff in the chats because we may
Oh
have
yeah.
other readers that might want to get it. Here's this Hierophant I really love. This is from my Nightfall Tarot.
Looks like he's wearing traditional Japanese wear.
Yeah, it does. It really, really does. So, and this deck is completely different. I mean, like the Emperor,
Oh, it looks like the thing he's holding is like a key.
yes. Um, I love the Wheel of Fortune because I do love my Elder Futhark runes.
Ooh.
And this is that one's the Haunt of Elm. So yeah, I like different decks give us, and I love how you use the verbiage language because I always say symbolism, but yes, they are different languages. And that goes for like oracle cards if you're using the Ogum or if you're using runes, witches runes or Elder Futhark runes. Azriel, anything you want to add?
No, I'm a little jealous. You guys got show and tell cards. I only got that one card that one deck I got from you recently, and I also got the Labyrinth out. The other ones, everything else is still put away. You know what? I'm actually 1 year now in here, and I think
Oops, I think we.
and I have still, but I'm enjoying it. I'm enjoying it, and this is my AI tarot cards.
And they're fun. I mean, I have a couple AIs that I've used to introduce that tonight is Tuesday Tarot.
I was actually designing a set, and I never finished it. I was doing a bunch of them, because my cousin, I don't know,
Yeah.
you never met her. Her name is Dr. Cease Rivera. She's actually on here on TikTok. She publishes cards.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah. So I was gonna make some, but then I got discouraged. I worked too much. I put too much pressure on myself.
Yeah. That's the hard part is like I know some people like they put 100 well I put 110% into my spiritual business, but I tell my husband I'm like sometimes I just want to sit and watch TV and do nothing. you know because I like work the regular job like you do and then I do want to do my spiritual stuff, but I'd rather do the spiritual stuff, but right now I don't make enough to do that 100%.
I hear you. It's tough. It's really tough.
It is. It is. Most definitely. So that was our first Tuesday tip. I really liked that one, Bren. So for those that joined late, the tip was each deck has its own language, and it's very, very true. Oh, look at that.
This is the Seven of Swords. Well, this is the Tarot de la Nute Seven of Swords. But if you notice how the glare, hold on. So if you notice how she isn't really trying to hide anything or try to be sneaky, but she's kind of just like, you want to step or something? You want to go? Like, wow, okay.
Yeah. Like, just do it.
Yeah, bring it. And then actually, I don't know if you were able to see it, but in the background, there's actually a woman back there. She's just like she's, what are you doing?
That deck is really glossy. It's really, really glossy.
Yeah. Beautiful deck. There are so many beautiful decks out there.
And this is the Seven of Arrow, which is the Seven of Swords equivalent. But if you notice how for the head, which is right there, you can't really see the face.
Yeah.
And at least for the arrow suit, I got inspired from the I just had their name and I lost it. Oh, like the harpies from Greek mythology. That's the inspiration I took from.
Wait, Brand, those are your deck? Is that your deck that you created?
Mm-hmm.
What is that called?
It's called the Seduction of Shadows Tarot.
The Seduction of Shadows Tarot. Okay, and where does one find that?
On the link tree. In fact, if you just click the link tree, it'll be like one of the first things that'll pop up.
Cool, nice.
It'll just pop
so
up right there.
everybody go grab that deck. I mean, it really is beautiful. So I'm glad that you popped up here too. So that makes it fun. Oh, look at that.
Yep, this is for the Pentacle suit. I made it the Flora. And let's just see if I can grab a better example for that suit. So the Hermit is the self-exiled. Just the glare of behave. Strength is the untamed. Let's see, where is a better example? The pages are maidens.
Ooh, fun.
And people are like, it looks like Medusa in a way. And yeah, now that I've been told that many times, they're like, yeah, it kind of does look like Medusa. Because I was trying to go for more of a dryad appearance for them. Here's the Maiden of Arrow. Like a harpy, like a young harpy chick.
That is fun.
There's the Two of Arrow, which does somewhat kind of have that same vibe of like, okay, I'm not revealing nothing, I'm just going to be like this. So I did kind of follow a little bit, but I still kind of was like, I'm just going to go about my own way. The Kings are enchantresses. That's the Enchantress of Femo, which is the King of Cups equivalent. The Queens are Mavens. I know I just had one somewhere. Well, when I get to that, but this is the Empress, the Matriarch.
That's cool.
The the moon is La Luna.
I like that one.
and something that had happened, and I'm just gonna put that one off to the side. But when I was making the artwork, because I mean, when I make it, I just go and I just flow. But when I made La Sol, which is the sun. I'll put that one to the side too. But without me even realizing it, because I can't remember who it was that was on the live. Someone pointed out that, wait a minute, those two cards look like they go together, and she said just to put them side by side. And once I find La Sol, that I do. But I put them together, and it was like, oh, that happened. Because it looks like the artwork just flows with itself. There it is. Come here, La Sol. So putting it together. So here's what the lasso looks like.
Oh.
So when you put it together like this, it's like it just connects to itself.
Oh, that is really cool.
And that was unintentional. I was not even intending for that to happen that way.
That makes it even better because it looks intentional. So that is really neat. That is super neat. Yes, if anybody wants a reading, please feel free to put your question in the chat and you'll get a reading. But Bren's sharing his beautiful deck that he's done. So please make sure if you're not following him to go follow. And his link tree has where you can purchase the deck.
Yep, and also the Oracle too. That's with the same name. This is the Maven of Pyre, which is the Queen of Wands equivalent.
How fun.
I believe Candace. Oh, sorry.
Like one? Okay.
I believe
Candace.
Candace wanted to read.
Okay, Candace, go ahead. Put your question. And welcome, Vinny. Ooh, that one's a pretty deck too.
Yeah, the Three of Arrow, Three of Swords.
Mm-hmm. Candace, third card, you want a 3-card reading or you liked the third card Bren showed? Oh, wait, I know it takes a while to type things. But that's really, really cool. Yes, you just... Ooh, that one's cool.
Yep, and the Knights are crayons. That's the Emperor, the Majesty.
Yeah. Yep, we know what I'm doing next time I have some extra money. All right, Candace, I'm guessing a general reading? I'm shuffling for you. Okay, fabulous. All right, Candace, what can you expect? Like, I get the feeling we need to know what's going to go on the next week for you. So, Candace, your week. Ooh, we got the Page of Cups. Look at that. You are going to be embracing a lot of changes. Some of them might feel new, and you're going to feel some emotions you either haven't felt in a long time or might feel new to you. And it's okay because you're going to embrace them. And it's not going to be really rough on you. Like, this is a very smooth card, and things are going to run really well for you this week. So enjoy. Have a beautiful week here.
Ooh.
Very beautiful. Ooh, I liked that. Very, very beautiful.
Well, for what I pulled...
Ooh, Brent pulled one for you too.
Actually, I pulled 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So, the first one that popped out was the Untamed. Which, for me, the Untamed, that's an indication of like the energy that you have, your willpower. It's going to be the main core for next week. So, what is going to be coming towards you is having to discern and decide what needs to stay, what needs to be thrown to the wind. Because if you see how she's becoming one with what's below her, her foundation, but then she's also turning her head away from the above, what it's like coming out of her mind, like unnecessary thoughts, she's becoming more grounded, and she's only siding with what's going to give her the most balance. So having that discernment of balance will be coming up as like a theme as well during the end of the week. But what is going to be giving you the best support and backing you up the most is that ability to stay balanced that you already have, and being able to know, okay, so I have to be able to look from one perspective, but then also look from the other, because there's two heads in this depiction. The best foundation you have is, again, and this is the Castellation, which is the equivalent to the Justice card. So it's having that balance, but then knowing when enough's there and then there's not enough. So It's the mutual investment of what you put out, you'll get back. But the outcome that is above is Kismet, which is equivalent to the Wheel of Fortune or the Wheel of Fate. So the desire is that the fortune will move forward. Just again, you've got 3 cards of balance right here, and then you have the 1 card above, which is the progression of fortune, and just enact all the willpower you have.
Very beautiful. Ooh, what a great week ahead. This is really fabulous. So if you just jumped in or you've been here for a while, if you want a reading, you can put your question in there, or you can just ask for a general reading. And please don't forget to give us hearts. So we bump up into a new league maybe. So, don't forget to follow us if you're not following us yet. So we'd love to have more followers. That's always really great. Azriel, I love putting you on the spot, and you know it. Anything to add, like right now, like on tarot or anything? If you have a tarot tip. There we go.
Yeah, I'm here. I'm here. No, I'm enjoying. I can't believe, today's Tuesday, and I almost missed this. I'm glad that I jumped on here. I've been having a tough time, with my knee and stuff like that. So, but so far, what I'm hearing with what you guys read, it's on key, it's beautiful, and it's something really magical of seeing both of you guys here today, especially with the same shirt, the same color shirt. It's like it's poetical justice, it's like meant to be, but it's beautiful, it's colorful, and that's all I can explain, say it, I'm in awe, I'm really in awe. Hey, Sarah Lynn.
Hey, Sarah.
Hello, Sarah. Welcome. We are doing readings. We're also talking about tarot. We've even had tarot show and tell. I mean, it's always fun to show decks. Maybe next week I'll pull some more decks that I haven't shown for a while.
And that's funny because this is the 2 of Cups, the 2 of Hemo. If you notice, there's 2 mermaid figures in there, just hugging each other. Yeah.
Fun. Yeah, actually, it is funny because we are both V-necks too. Mine's just a little more defined. That is funny. Same color shirt.
This is the Maven of Hemo, which is my card, the Queen of Cups. Yeah. I can get a little bit closer so you can see her face a little bit, but yeah.
Super, super fun. Beautiful, beautiful decks. So you guys, if you are not following Bren, please his link tree has those cards that he's showing, and he designed them. So both an Oracle and a Tarot deck.
Yep. I'll grab the Oracle. And in a way you can also kind of tell that they do go together because, well, the backing is very similar but not the exact same.
Now the question is, Rowan, are you wearing black shorts?
I have very bright colored leggings. Here, I'll hold my leg up. So we're not quite, there is black in the flowers, but yes, I'm very, my husband's like, those are the loudest leggings. And I'm like, yep.
But, they're comfortable, I'm sure.
They are. They also stretch as you lose weight and gain weight. So leggings are awesome. We're at tail end of winter, so because I'm not running around in forest preserves, I've put weight on.
So that's the backing of the Oracle. And this is the backing of the Tarot. But as you can see, hopefully, if this thing will behave. So as you can see, that's how you can tell the difference.
Yeah.
Yeah, the Oracle doesn't have it filled in. The Tarot does have the eye filled in. That's the easiest way to tell the difference.
That's really cool. And it's probably a deck. I love the Druid deck. They've got 2 Oracle decks, and then they've got the Tarot deck. And I actually like to do a reading where I'll pull, if somebody does an hour, I'll do the Celtic Cross with the Tarot, and then I'll mix up the two oracle decks to do like go a little enhance and make it a little bit better. So it is kind of fun when you have like an oracle deck that matches, because you can do fun stuff with it.
Yeah, like this is, it's kind of like, I mean, it is the same art. It is the same art style.
Yeah.
And I intentionally, for both my decks, I did not include a guidebook because I wanted them to actually physically spend time with it, to look at it, take in the artwork, and let them run along with it. Because there are some cards in here like, well, there's Intoxicate. There is Bewitch, which is again with a little bit of a mermaid vibe going on again. Then there are some cards in here that might make people go like, oh, that's a bit dark. Well, there's Majestic.
Oh, fun. But we have to have the dark with the light. Which we all just had that the Alien Teas. Yeah, that was last week where we had light and dark topic.
This one, ever since a friend of mine pointed this out, I can't unsee it. They were like, oh, wow, looks like you put Harley Quinn in that card. Like, oh.
Funny. Yeah, it kind of does.
That's Seduction.
Ooh, fun. Yeah, that looks like it would be a really fun to read with both those decks.
Oh, yeah. Now, this one, okay. I know, we do a lot of spirituality and stuff like that, but this one card, I'll tell you this. Whenever I have shown just this card on live, the artwork, it just moves on its own. I'm not even kidding, because look. I'm not even moving but do you see like it faintly move a little bit?
Yeah.
I don't know why, but I'm just nodding my head and going with it like, Lilith, dear, it's your deck. You may do as you please, but just kindly inform me before you do that so I don't freak out. But
and that would be a Lilith thing.
Yep.
It's almost like, I don't know if you guys ever watched Schitt's Creek, but when they get the big photograph or the big family portrait back, and they're like, Mom's eyes follow us wherever we go. I didn't see her eyes moving though. I saw her moving. So
yeah, and I cannot figure it out.
Yeah, because sometimes she looks really close and sometimes she looks like she's taken a step back. Wow. Ooh, I'm going to have fun.
And it also looks like she's also like, see, like when if I'm holding it still, it kind of looks like her hair is moving in the back and she's just going, like she's, I mean.
Ooh, yeah. There's a deck we both need to get, Azrael. I think we lost Azrael. Did we lose you, Azrael?
This was the first one I made, the Oracle. The Oracle I made first, and the Throw I made next.
I'm here. I was just giving the doggy some food because I'm making me chili dogs, and last thing I want her to do is look at me while I'm eating, so I could give her food.
Yeah. I don't blame you. I used to, like, when we had dogs, I used to, whatever we were making for dinner, I made for the dog. Now, I had like this giant pit bull, and they are supposed to have greens. So when we would make green beans and peas, I'd mix them in his bowl and he would eat everything but, even if I mixed it all over in the rice or something, he would like pick out, and all that would be left was the green beans or the peas. And I'm like, okay, I get you.
All right then, Poochie then.
Hey, here you go. I'm so nice. I give you back the beans. I don't need them. You have them.
I know. Well, and you should have seen that dog. Whenever I would make steak, oh my gosh, he'd like sit there and drool. It was so cute because he was like, "Oh yeah, Mama's making steak tonight."
Yeah.
Dogs are our children, and they have their own cute personalities.
I agree. So on the oracles, so the oracles is self-guided oracles. Brent,
What?
On your oracle, the companion oracle to that look almost like the other ones. The
Yeah.
is
So
that oracle? Yes. So does that come with a booklet or is that a self?
neither one
Okay.
of them come with a booklet.
Okay.
Yeah,
So
if
it's self
you
interpretation.
have to spend time with it. You have to
Okay.
sit with it. You have to.
Just like you did with those other cards, the Yu-Gi-Oh cards, similar in that sense, right?
Oh, it's funny you say that because I actually have them right in front of me too.
And for anybody
Ro-
who, oh, go ahead, Azrael.
I was gonna say you gotta watch him read these cards, these Rowan, the Yu-Gi-Oh cards.
Yeah, yeah. I do the same thing with the children's card game too. The exact same thing.
What one of my tarot teachers, and I believe I told everybody in my tarot class, they literally in class, he was like, take your book out, and everybody's taking their books out of their decks. And he's like, okay, I'm passing around the garbage can, throw it in the garbage can.
Love it.
And some people were like, they
Why?
were like super scared, but he's like, you do not need the book. And you really don't. Sorry, I'm still fighting allergies, so.
I mean, there is, of course, absolutely nothing wrong with having the book, but have the book be there and be after you spend time with the deck. Get your own connection with it first, because that way you're not influenced to be like, okay, because you're allowing yourself to be open and connect how it connects to you.
Because the book can actually make you second guess what you're feeling. You're getting those what resonates with you, and then no, that's not what the book says. You know what? And then you second guess, and it's not authentic.
And sometimes, especially if you're just starting out reading, even if you have the skills and you know how to read, sometimes we second guess ourselves and don't hold that confidence.
Mm-hmm.
And this forces you to have that confidence.
Mm-hmm.
Because you know what you're doing.
Yeah. Especially if it's, children's cards I'm reading with. Right up here.
Yeah, if anybody wants a reading, Brandon and I are here. You can put a question in the chat, or if you want a general reading, please, we're just watching that. And don't forget to give us hearts and follow all three of us if you're not. And I am here every Tuesday. And hopefully Bren will start joining every Tuesday too. That would be fun.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I'm even trying to figure out what day to go like live myself for my own thing too, but I mean I still haven't found the right day yet.
It is a bit hard. I mean, well, I guess you just have to find the time slot that works.
Mm-hmm.
So, and just a reminder, I usually go live on Thursday. This Thursday, I will not be live because it is Ostara, so I will be leading ritual. But Azrael, you're still going live on Thursday, right? He loves it. I just put him on the spot.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
Are you going to go a little earlier, or your usual, or your 10:30?
I'm gonna go 10:30. It gives me time to settle down. Because that's the thing about it. Thursday is usually my long day,
Yeah.
and before I used to rush and get like half an hour, and I don't get in no rest. Don't even get the chance to take off, my work clothes. So,
Yeah.
with that, it gives me some time.
Yep.
There you go. You got a heart. Thank you, Nanny.
Yes. Thank you so much, Nanny.
Yeah. So, me knowing that you're gonna be doing what you're gonna be doing, for Thursday. That's why I chose the topic that you seen me promo.
Yep.
The witching hour.
I should be able to join, hopefully. Sometimes rituals go a little long. Sometimes they don't. I never know.
Mm-hmm. Well, I'll be going out for a little while. For a while, definitely.
Yeah.
And Nanny, if you haven't been here in J Marca, we're doing one card tarot readings. If you guys got a question, just post it there in the comments, and you will get readings here. It's the one card, general, or if you have a question.
Yep, because it's Tuesday Tarot. And we love Tuesday Tarot, and there's 2 of us that can read, so you can put your question in. We'll both pull cards for you. And we wore matching shirts.
Deck. You might get an Oracle deck. You might get a Yu-Gi-Oh deck. You might get a Tarot deck. You never know. Well, at least for me, that is.
Nope, you never know. I know. Yeah, I've even got my Lenormand deck here.
Oh.
So, and I do have my Dark Goddess Oracle deck out.
Oh, I have that deck.
I love this deck.
So
Barbara and Kate are just amazing. I love I have actually all their decks that they've done.
Don't they also have one that's like the Witch's Brew Oracle? Or like the Witch's...
There's the Witch's Kitchen.
yeah, that one.
There's like Witch's... There's another one which is in the title. I have it. I know right where
Familiars.
it is. But yeah, yes, the Witch's Familiars. Yes. Yes, and they have several books out too. They are Scottish witches that live in Manchester, England. They actually have a shop. So if you're ever in Manchester, definitely stop by. Anybody who's there. Oh, and Nanny would like a general reading. Okay, Nanny. Let's see how your next week is going to be. That's the energy I'm kind of feeling right now, and I'm pulling from tarot.
I'm using the children's card game to pull. I know. It's good. Well, we'll see what comes out then.
Wow, 4 of Pentacles. Look at this. So you have a lot in front of you, and you're working on a decision right now. And so follow your gut. There's one decision that you want to make, and it's just, it is right there in front of you, and something's holding you back, but it's the right decision. So make sure you follow your gut on it. That's what I'm getting. So you can see this, the dragon's trying to get that first little coin there. So, because he knows the other ones are not the right one. So, the choices that you have right now, the one that your gut is like, do this one, that's the one you're supposed to do. And go ahead, Bren. Or whenever you're ready.
The one that came out was the medium.
Ooh.
So the medium in the card game, the way that she works is that if your opponent has 4 or more cards than you do, she just comes out of nowhere. So she just appears on the field. Kind of like a guardian angel, to best put it. But when she's on the field, can you have that thing, between your legs, stop going, please? Sorry, people with dirt bikes like to make obnoxious noises. But anyway. So, with the medium having that quality, but at the same time, when you look at her artwork, if there's a focus, you notice how she's completely surrendering to the entity that's behind her. She's throwing her entire self and entire being in front of this being. She's willing to put herself all the way in and do whatever needs to be done. Like, she's fearless. She doesn't have any doubt in herself. She is becoming the vessel for that spirit to embody and work through. So, with it being the medium, whichever that choice is, go in, lock in, and throw your confidence and full assurance into it, knowing that this is the right route to go. I have full faith in this. This is the decision I'm going with, and that's that. I'm so confident in my own choice and my own decision that I'm going all 100% in and being the vessel for my real best, my best desired self to be able to work through. So allowing that to come through and work through you, you'll be able to get through literally anything. Because this is also a card that is also about blind and devoting to something while being essentially going in blind. Having no idea how to work, but still having that full, complete faith in it. Knowing that, yep, this is the route I'm going. I'm locking in. Nobody's going to change me otherwise. And that's the energy I'm getting from that.
Hearing both readings, they both collaborate and they actually both give out the same energy. The first one, it's multiple options, but go with the one that you were going with.
And the secondary is like Brent said, go blindly, because the one that you made that first choice is the actual choice. So you have no other choice but just go with it, because that's what it resonates with the individual, Nanny.
Beautiful, beautiful. This is why this is really fun. It's fun that we get to play off this. So if you want a reading, please feel free. You can put general, or if you have a question, you can go ahead and put your question in the chat. Feel free to share, and don't forget to like the live. Give us lots of hearts. And if you're not following any of us, please make sure you follow us. I'm sure, like, are all three of us going up tomorrow, or trying to go up on Alien Tea tomorrow?
Yeah.
Yeah.
We'll see. We'll see. Welcome, Young O, and welcome, Connor. You were doing one card readings. Go ahead, Rowan.
Yeah. Yep. All right. Just a general.
Hey, Connor.
Ooh, I feel like it's supposed to be a different deck. Hang on.
So much.
All right, Connor. Ooh, glad nanny. All right. And Connor, what you can expect over the next week. Your card. Ooh, the Queen of Swords.
She's so sassy. We
She
all
is
know
so
she
sassy.
ain't having it. I love
Yeah.
it.
So and in this one, you can see she's like laid back, but she is large and in charge. So this is either like your feminine energy is going to come out, or there is someone that has a lot of feminine energy that is open to communicate about something that's on your mind. So either you need to share this with somebody, or somebody's going to share something on their mind. So there's like going to be a lot of communication, and yeah, sassy and classy and in charge. Exactly. But it needs to be discussed. So something really does need to be discussed, and it's going to be done with confidence. So if it is you, it will be you. If it's somebody close to you that has a lot of feminine energy, and I say feminine energy because we all have a balance of masculine and feminine energy. So it is somebody in your life with that, with a lot of, or they may be imbuing a lot of feminine energy at the time.
And like what I pointed out earlier is that with that Queen of Swords, I love her because she's literally just, nope.
Yep. Yeah. She's just like, yep. Ironically enough, we were talking about that particular card earlier.
It's just now the card that came out on my end. Well, as I always say, whenever this card pops out, because it just always happens. Well, F this deck because, well, it's the Queen of Cups that came out.
Wow.
And this is actually my significator card. But for this Queen of Cups now, this is a queen that, well, of course, being half in the dark, because this is mainly like she's a big majority of her is in the dark, but then there's the light that's hitting her from the back. And if you can notice that she's looking down at this lotus flower, and this is the only lotus flower in the whole picture. She's looking down at this lotus flower. Now, the lotus flower represents the birthing of something, because from the lotus flower, of course, there's some would say that it's the birth of Ra, but specifically with it being in my certificate card of all things, so this is water at its purest. This is showing how am I going to put this? It's like being in a situation where there has been immense like hardship, pains, and suffering. There is going to be a blossoming of something that is going to be able to be that remedy that's able to, because with a lotus flower, when it blooms, it has one dewdrop just flow right off of it, and it's believed that one dewdrop that comes from a lotus flower opening if you were to take that and just massage like on the third eye area, it's supposed to be able to connect you to the unseen. So there, this can be also pointing at if there's been a history of something that's been a bit challenging and taxing on you. It's the time to see if there's a figure that you'll be able to turn to in hopes of getting through whichever challenging time it is. So it is having that double energy of feminine at play.
Yeah. And see how they mesh together, because there's got to be some communication, and that communication is that emotional. Mm-hmm. It's got to come out. How beautiful.
I'm not 100% positive, but what I'm feeling is Capricorn go-getter, female energy, in somehow, some way from this. Am I correct on that?
That's really fascinating. That's interesting, because we had the Queen of Swords, then we have the Queen of Cups, and now that would be like the Queen of Pentacles. So. Mm-hmm.
Interesting.
Very interesting. And I see, Connor, I love that comment that you have there. That's exact, like you're literally moving into that. You're like healing. It's like a whole healing thing. That's so beautiful.
Thank you, Nanny, for that heart.
Thank you so much.
You got a heart, Rowan.
Thank you so much, Nanny. Well, I appreciate all the gifts for even Bren and Azriel. Like, we really do appreciate it. So, and we appreciate when you like the videos. And if you're not following us yet, please make sure you follow us so that you know when we are all going live. So it's Tuesday Tarot. We are doing 1-card readings. We're also talking about tarot tips and tricks, or, even intuition. So I think one thing and I think this kind of goes along with a lot that we've discussed, because I don't see a question. So, and Azrael, keep me on track if you see I missed something, is energizing your deck. And Bren's really touched on this. Like, when you get a new deck, you need to work with it in order to do the readings.
Yeah.
Yes, merci, Connor. Merci beaucoup. My little bit. And tips for remembering the cards. Young Rose, I will tell you, go with your intuition. And I think it's more important to know the symbolism than it is to know the definition. So all the tarot decks, I threw away that book. I don't think do I have any books on any of the tarot decks? Because I do throw them away. So you don't necessarily need the books. So the books literally just come with, so I do have a book, because this is a fairly new one. It just gives you like the keywords upright and reversed. I actually study the symbolism, and you can do this. Take a tasseomancy class. Like, I teach a tasseomancy class, because you can learn the symbolism really easy that way. And symbolism is actually, it cross connects even into everything. Like, if you're going to work with plants, and if you're like an occultist and you're going to work with plants or crystals, that symbolism crosses over into everything you literally do. So symbolism is the most, in my opinion, is the most important thing. Once you learn the symbolism and you work with your deck and you connect with your deck, it is all just going to fall into place.
Mm-hmm. And an exercise that a friend of mine actually taught me many moons ago, literally, was, she said, okay, take your deck, grab a card off the top, look at it, find 2 things you see, and then 2 feelings you feel with it. This is the 3 of Swords from the Ghost Tarot. So, this being the 3 of Swords now, of course we're going to be stereotypical. Yes, it's supposed to be about heartbreak. But this 3 of Swords, when I see it, I think, well, this is a 3 of Swords that's like, of course somebody is sad and down. But at the same time, there's also this other figure who's at a different part of existence, so on a different level, willing to offer that support and hold that space, and to shield them from the hardship. So this 3 of Swords, whenever I see it, I think it's a really beautiful supporting card. Somebody's in a down time, but they have that support. Okay. Even though they can't comprehend it, it's there.
Yes, very, very beautiful. Let's see. I thought I saw a question for the classes I mentioned. Well, I teach a tarot class over 17 weeks. I also teach tarot fundamentals, which is a 1-day course, but tasseomancy, tea leaf reading. I will be teaching a tea leaf reading class in July. I believe it's like July 25th-ish or something. I do have it up on my website. But yes, any tasseomancy or tea leaf reading. So the proper name is tasseomancy, but it is tea leaf reading. But you learn a lot about symbolism, and once you kind of learn the basics of understanding symbolism, it is so easy to understand it.
Mm-hmm.
And Brent, Youngo said he would like a reading. Yeah,
Oh,
Fabulous.
yeah, but Young, did you have a question or do you want a general?
General, okay.
I'm using the biggest deck I've got now.
All right. I'm going to use the Shadowscape Tarot deck. I guess I should show it because I've been reading this a lot. That's the energy I'm getting to do this deck. All right. So what's going on with Young or Rose? What's going on? Ooh, we have 10 of Wands in reverse. So you've been feeling a little down is what I'm getting. And your happiness, it is inside you. And it's just taking a little time to come out. So you've got a couple barriers that are in your way, and it's a matter of working through those barriers. So whatever's been bothering you, you need to work through it, whether you write about it or if you have to paint about it, or if like pulling weeds makes you feel good about like getting it out, like sometimes like ripping something out of the ground helps, or meditation. But you've got something that's been like weighing heavy on you, and you just need to work it out. And then you're going to feel that passion and that love and that creativity and that happiness just come back out. Something's just holding you down and holding you back right now. It's there. We all get temporary bumps in the roads.
But yeah, this big honking deck. Woo! Well, okay, fine. I'll do one more. Because, well, yeah, we gonna have to, well, something is gonna be, I'll just wait till the next episode. Again! Okay, so, we have the Five of Swords.
Ooh.
This is a card that has an Amazoness on it, and if you know how the Amazonesses are, just stay off their land. And then there's my card again. But you see how this Queen of Cups is completely different than the other one. This one is kind of taking influence from Arachne. So, okay, well, if there's something that is holding you back from becoming your best self, allowing you to be able to be the seamstress of what is your life, it's going to sound so heavy and dark, but going with it. Don't be afraid to put out a warning shot at whatever is messing with you and holding you back. Be like, look, do you want to be like one of these four? Don't take me away from my tapestry I'm weaving. I'm making my own life masterpiece. Don't take it away. So making it known that, hey, yeah, there's something you're striving for. Sometimes you do have to kind of put it out there that don't mess with it. Because again, it is your life, is how you're living it, is your choices. And at the end of the day, you're the one with the final say. And only you know what's technically best for you. If it's something that you want to do, that's good enough. That's good enough. But it wouldn't be the most, no, it is the best thing to do. And if it's not the right choice, well, now you've learned after the fact, after making the choice. Because you don't know until you make the choice.
I love how we're just like, we're so connected, Bren.
Don't connect it down to the shirt.
Yeah, I know. Like how we planned it, I don't know. It was the universe telling us.
I was going to say the same thing. I said, I don't know what happened here. This is like
Yeah, and actually I almost wore black leggings today, so almost. But then I was like, I like these wild ones. So. So fabulous, fabulous. We're having a great time tonight. I am here every Tuesday Tarot, and I'm hoping Bren joins every Tuesday, and Azriel's usually here every Tuesday too. We do one card readings, and we also talk about tarot tips, or sometimes maybe tarot facts, just kind of whatever about tarot, and we will answer questions. And it doesn't have to be tarot, it could be divination, it could be anything. Witches runes, Elder Futhark runes. It could also be oracle cards, Lenormand. So
there's also what's that called? This other kind of divination that I kind of enjoy doing. It's called what's that called?
Is it bone throwing, osteomancy?
I can't do bone throwing because if I was to do bone throwing, my goddess hell would be like, what are you fucking doing?
What are you doing?
what is the one that you read stuff with? Like if somebody asks a question and you can open up a book and actually.
Oh, that's bibliomancy.
Oh, bibliomancy. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, bibliomancy. Yeah, I do that a lot.
Yeah, ironically enough, like my Christian cult that I was in, they would have you do that with the Bible and stuff. So now it's like, it was so funny because like I left and I was like, that is so funny because they were so against witchcraft and so against psychics and so against tarot cards, yet they're doing a form of divination.
Mm-hmm. The dramatic. Kleptomancy. That's what it was.
Oh.
Which is that divination by smoke. And there's also another one that I've also done. What's that called? It's a divination that involves plants. What's it called? But essentially what you do is you get well, at least what I did is I got a bouquet of flowers and I put them in water, but I asked the question and I spoke it into the water. And depending on like how the plants respond to that is the answer to the question. So like I remember asking, is there anything affecting my friend and should she be worried? So I blew it in there. The flowers were vibrant. So I took that as a no and everything was okay actually. She was going in for surgery and she was worried about having like after surgery complications, but made it through just fine.
I also I teach a class with little divinations because there's little things you can do like wax readings, like when your candle melts, like how the wax comes out. And in the class, I like have everybody warm hot water and break an egg because the egg white will create almost like the wax. It will create a story and you can read that story. Mm-hmm. Except now the eggs are so expensive. I don't know that we'd want to waste an egg to do that now.
Yeah.
Unless you happen to have a lot of chickens. Like my brother's got chickens, so like in winter he doesn't get as many eggs, but he usually gets a couple dozen eggs like now that it's starting to be spring until autumn. So I mean he's lucky, but he's not in the same state or I'd be like at his house still in eggs.
And I think there's also another divination style that I've done a few times, which is, well, in a way, it's similar to like the runes, but instead of using the actual runes, you actually just have a stack of stones and you just feel and grab whatever feels the right one to grab. So I'm just gonna roll with it, whatever comes out. Like for an example, we'll go with you. Nope. Gotcha. Okay, so Larimar. So very fluidity, very feminine. Being able to be this restorative water. And since Larimar is only found in the Dominican Republic, it's this type of rejuvenation that can only come from one pure source. But I mean, that is a really feminine crystal. Like, ooh.
And it is strong. I actually, I don't wear my Larimar all the time, but every once in a while I'll wear it and when I need it. And Felix, please go ahead and put your question in. If you want a general reading, just type general. But if you have a specific question, feel free to put your specific question in.
Just gonna ask Bren. Now the stones that you were using, was it different ones or were they all the same variety?
They're all different. Like in this sack, I had kunzite.
Okay, yeah, just wanted to make sure.
Yep.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. So you can.
Aphrodite calcite. Yeah, like I have a lot. Not even all of them are in here. Like there's the Larimar again at the bottom. There's red tiger's eye. Work related general. Okay. Solari sunstone. But yeah, you can see like clear quartz, and then there's stishenshite. That's a tough one to say.
Yeah, you got some nice stones in that little bag of there. Little bag of tricks. But for those Brennan and Rowan, Felix the cat, he wants a work related general reading.
Yep. All right.
Work related in general.
So what is going on with work for Felix? What's going on for work with Felix? I am using my Witch's Tarot because that one was the one calling to me.
I'm using this one.
Wow, this is interesting. We got the Queen of Swords again.
She's so sassy again. Here she comes.
Yeah. So somebody with a lot of feminine energy, and it could be your feminine side coming out. Speak your truth. Set boundaries and stick by them. That's what I'm getting here, is that like some boundaries need to be set and you just need to speak your truth. That's going to help get you through what's going on.
Let's see.
And Bren will add to it. We've got like this great flow tonight going on, so.
Oh, hello, lovely. Oh, Lilith, here she comes.
Lilith's coming out.
Well, whenever she pops out, it's given the vibe of like, I don't even go with the word equality. Instead, we're going with it like this. Yes, you may, dear. You know, I completely understand when it comes to work and profession that, of course, working for someone, yes, there has to be that respect, of course. But it's not just only towards the employer. It's also with you also. Because without you, that employer wouldn't have the business they have. So, if they're not giving you the right treatment, if they're not going to be giving you what is due to you, if they're not going to consider you as probably what's keeping the entire business up and running, if they're not going to give you that, well then really, technically, you don't have to give them your best either. If they're going to honor you, then give your best. If they're not going to honor you, just do what's the bare bone expected. Because the boundary of treating somebody with dignity and respect, that's something that's, very simple. It should be like common sense. It's not that hard to just treat somebody, especially your own employee, as probably the most important thing in your business. Because they're helping it run. Mm-hmm. So, advocate for yourself. If there's something that's not going on right, bring it up. Let them know that, hey, there's an issue with this, this, and this. Because if they're your employer, your boss, here comes the plot twist. They're your servant. Yep. Your supervisor or boss is your servant. Their job is to make sure that you have the tools to succeed to do the work they hired you for. If they don't give you those tools, well then really they're not getting you ready for success. So they're not doing their job. And if you've constantly been asking for the tools to do your job right, well, honestly, you're kind of advocating for their business and not only to thrive, but also your ability to succeed. So really, you're helping them out. But if they can't understand that, well, maybe possibly just let them know that, there's a lot of other opportunities out there. But I'm just saying. So put yourself first and remember, they're your servant. Don't be up there being like, hey, boss man, go and do this. No. But they're supposed to help support you and get you what you need to succeed. That's what they're supposed to do.
Yeah. And if it means support, like I'm feeling like the boundary's been violated.
Mm-hmm.
I see, if what I understand from these cards is that Felix the Cat, you have done the work. In other words, you made the effort and you took the action. Now it's time for you to stop the action and voice it out. In other words, speak it up, and say, you know what, I'm not need to show you anymore. You witness what I'm capable of and you see what I'm doing. Now it's time for you to put, the money where your mouth is type of scenario.
Yep. And you're welcome, Felix.
I'm just tempted just to pull one from one of the Yu-Gi-Oh piles, so I'm just gonna roll with it.
Brent feels like he needs to pull another one, so we're going with the flow. Like that's the best thing to do.
Oh, let's see what they come out now. This is a completely different kind of a vibe from the other one with the ice monsters and all that. So we'll see what happens. The Harpy Lady.
Ooh.
So, the Harpy Lady is a specific monster that's associated with a certain character, but I'll just read you the description. This human-shaped animal with wings is beautiful to watch, but deadly in battle. That also gives a little vibe to it, but with the Harpy Lady now, having the ability to come off as something that is beautiful and appeasing and gentle and being able to interact in a way that's beautiful, embody the quality of the Harpy Lady. Still have your beauty and grace, but puncheth thee in the face if it needs to be puncheth thee in the face. Not literally, but metaphorically. Because even in the Greek mythology, the Harpies were known to be those that took either children or infants or people down into the world of Hades. But, again, beautiful, but if not given that respect, because also the air element is thoughts, and it's also, again, the expression of beauty, but then again, puncheth in the face kind of a thing. If it's not being respected, then the puncheth in the face can be just simply, alrighty, I'm just going to put in the bare bone minimum then. Just enough so I can still get the paycheck. Oh, you want me to do more? I'll think about it. Because usually when if you're setting a high standard for you, but then they're not giving you that recognition or that kudos or that advancement or just anything to help benefit you for putting in that work, well, gotta fix the scale. Because they know how much you can put out, and you've proven it. But when they're taking advantage of it, it's like less effort, then it brings it back in. But when they're now starting to give you more, that's when you can start keeping that balance that way. So that's at least what I see. Be beauty and full of grace and kicketh thee in the face, not literally, but yeah.
Both of your all three cards that you guys read, it paints the picture. And Felix the Cat, I hope you you understood it. Yeah.
Yep, I think so. You're welcome. Yes. And never be scared to voice. I know a lot of times like we are such people pleasers and it can be that way because when we know we need to have a job for a paycheck to put food on the table and keep a roof over our head, a lot of times we feel like we're the slave to the employer and we are not. We're not. Mm-hmm. So let your voice be heard.
And when I worked retail, actually my first job, I made it all the way up to be a front-end manager of operations. So it was like the registers and all that. I was the youngest one at 19.
the youngest. Everybody else was like, at least in their 40s and 50s. The youngest one. And the way that I was towards my front end people, I told them, hey, you guys are my boss. You tell me what I need to do. You tell me what you need. Just because I got the keys and the authority to override stuff, that don't mean nothing. Now you guys are running the show and you're telling me what needs to be done. Of course, yeah, there's management, but no. They're not here on the ground with you guys, so you guys are my bosses.
The best managers are the ones that help. Like, I know, like, I was a manager for a while, and all of my staff underneath me, I helped them. And like I said to them, if you are feeling overwhelmed, you come tell me right away, and we will figure out how to make you not overwhelmed. And the company happened to lay off everybody that was manager and above. And two of my employees said, well, we left. And I'm like, oh, why did you guys leave? And they're like, you're not there. And the person they have that they hired as a supervisor instead of a manager in your place, they're horrible. And, you know, it's all like finding that proper management style. But if you're in that situation where it's causing stress, you need to be heard. And there are resources out there, but they can't have a business without you.
Yeah.
You're irreplaceable. Oh, yeah. Okay. Yep.
Oh. I'm honestly at that point, if that ever happens, because for as long as I was a front-end manager, it was for at least 4 years. I moved up quick. Not once did I ever write up anybody. I informed them, like, here's what you did wrong, but I actually made them feel like they weren't like being pushed down or like I have to make this write up now. Because for me, if I'm writing up somebody, okay, what are we going to gain from this? Writing up someone. Okay, yes, we have documentation of it, but do we need to actually have it be like making a paper trail? Ultimately, if it was something so minor. Because if we do put that in the system, yeah, we have proof of it, but it's not only going to... It's going to make the employees, their morale go down. So I just pulled them to the side whenever it was downtime or whenever there was an opportunity. I just told them what the whoopsie was and what they can do next time to avoid it. And also, of course, tell them whatever they need to say and just say it exactly how it is.
And think it out, and maybe take some time and contemplate. And probably the easiest way you can approach it, Felix the Cat, is, you know what? I'm not happy with the situation, and if it continues, I'm just not going to say something. And either A, I'm just going to walk away and decide, going home, or go in a parking lot, and if there's a resolution, just call me back in. You don't necessarily have to leave. You can say, you know what? I'm going to step outside and. Are you reading down there? Go ahead.
Yeah. Oh, no, I was actually, while you were talking, go ahead. Keep talking, because I pulled another card.
Yes. So something like that, you want to think it out too, in the pros and the cons and the way you approach it. Because, one of the things for safeguard for ourselves is don't act on their actions. If they are tempered and they are screaming as they are screaming to you, be the bigger individual and be down to earth. And, your actions have been proven. These cards that have been pulled have shown that you've been putting the effort, and now it's time, like that Queen of Swords, you have to voice it. You have to voice it, but you don't have to voice it because in a sense of being argumental. Voice it. You know what? I know where I'm worth, and where I'm appreciated. And if I feel the tension or just don't feel appreciated, I can simply just step outside and be a regular individual. Is that your preference? Or are we going to meet together and actually work on something where this situation is at peace and resolved?
And ultimately get better at writing up people. That's not a skill or a trait or a quality that you want to be proud of. Because it's like you're intentionally trying to make somebody fail.
Yep.
Why are you trying to make somebody fail? Why are you making your own workers intentionally fail? That's not good management. That's like you're intentionally sabotaging the operations and everything to function right. Why are you setting everything up to fail? That's not management behavior.
No, that's not.
Off. Away with it.
So I pulled a Lenormand card and I got Clover. So you've got stuff on your mind that is going to bring you luck. So you need to follow that. Document everything. Videotape her screaming.
Yeah, it's not. You can even just have like your phone just having the audio recording, just playing and just recording audio in the background, just like in your pocket. Oh my gosh, this is your right.
Yep.
Got that. And the thing is, of course, there's also this intended stupidity thing of being like, well, the right to consent with recording or whatever, but heck, the whole thing is this. It has to be proven that you were intentionally with the intent of recording somebody to then use it against them. Unless if you know they can prove that, it's like...
Yeah. There are a lot of times, some states it's okay to record without their knowledge. Some states it's not. However, it is good to document because the thing is if you actually do it and it gets to a level where you have to go to an attorney, the attorney can listen to it.
Yes.
So.
And that's considered evidence, yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yep. Yeah. Yep. Go speak your mind. Yep. Go to that higher supervisor. That's why you got the Queen of Swords. You're supposed to go speak your mind, let it all out. And the Clover's showing you the good luck. Lilith's telling you to take charge. You literally, like, this is a good reading. It's kind of giving you what you need. It's giving you the tools you need.
And also, when you tell the higher ups, ensure that there's either a policy that is a zero retaliation, like, tolerance. Because if you do inform the higher ups and then after all that, if there is any slight, like the slightest form of retaliation, it could be something so minuscule that is retaliation.
Yep.
And that's a So, yeah, that is major because it's just like, oh, you're telling on me, well, I'm going to do this to you. Nope, you can't do that. That's going to get you sued because it just shows that, well, it's like you're making the choice to then retaliate after somebody bringing it to your attention that you're making a mistake, and now you're still swinging at them.
Yeah, it's not okay. All right. So if there's anybody else who has a question that you'd like to ask a question, you can put general and we'll do a general reading for you. Or if you have a specific question, there we go. There you go. See, that's another reason why you got the Clover, Felix.
Meantime, while we're waiting for a question, you guys please feel free to tap and try to get this up there in the algorithm. We all put a little into this and we can get this up to 10,000. Thank you.
Yes, thank you so much, Azrael, for that beautiful, gentle reminder. Yep, because I am slowly moving up, so it will help to get me up a little higher in the ranks. I did say this let's see, we've been going for almost 2 hours, so an hour and a half ago.
Oh, wow.
Sunday at 8:30 p.m. will be Witchy Book Club. Now, the book is not a witchy book, but if you are, it's a spiritual book. So the books are usually either going to be spiritual in nature or specifically witchy, like a witchcraft book. So the book that we'll be doing for the next about month and a half is Anatomy of Spirit by Carolyn Miss. I recommend pick it up and read it or join in and listen. It will be 8:30 p.m. Central Standard Time here on TikTok. You can join my Patreon. If you join at the $5 level, you get a deep dive on Tuesday that gets you ready for Sunday. So it'll be a chapter a week. So we'll be going over the introduction this week. So I'm really excited. This book actually is combining Christianity, Hinduism, Buddhism. Am I missing anything? Oh, Judaism. She does specifically say she does not include Islam or pagan. Well, she doesn't say the paganism because she doesn't know about Islam. And so she did not want to steer anything wrong. So she's a medical intuitive, and this book is so amazing. So yes, so please feel free to join on Sunday. I'd love to have you join. So again, I have like points. I've highlighted things that I'm going to go over, and so I'm really excited to start this on Sundays. So every Sunday I'll be going over a chapter from a book. So this is the first book. So I'm kind of excited about that. And if you've read it, or even if you want to come up on panel, I have no problem letting anybody up on panel if they want to have the chit chat along with it. So, all right. If there's any questions, I know I've got like Azrael's really good about watching for questions for Tuesday Tarot. So please don't forget to follow Bren, Azrael, or myself if you're not following us. And look at that. We're at 7K. Let's go ahead. Let's do a couple more hearts there. Let's get a couple more going.
Question while we wait for a question. Hematite. Okay. How do we polish a hematite ring? I think I ran some soap on it and now it's dull.
What's the band made out of?
Hematite.
It's hematite.
Yeah.
It's
The whole thing is
100%.
hematite?
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know what? I bought a specific crystal cleaning rag, but I discovered it's the same stuff that's used on eyeglasses. So if you've got this soft, the fabric ones, not like the ones with alcohol on it, the
Yes.
disposables.
Well, I think that's what it was. I think I also had some hand sanitizer, and that's what happened. Because, welcome, Alice. Nice to see you.
Hi, Alice. Good to see you, Alice. Yeah,
So-
that will work. And then remember, hematite collects everything negative and then it will break. So
Yes.
what you want to do is you want to make sure that you are like charging it in the full moon, cleanse it, sing to it, that way it will last a little bit longer. I always like to throw that out there because they do. Hematite bursts as soon as it gets all the negativity that's collected.
Oh, yeah. I had that many times, many times. I got a whole, I guess we call it, it's not granite and it's not marble. It's the other one. Um, uh, Terracotta. It's terracotta. It's called terracotta. I got a terracotta jewelry box, and I have about 20 hematite rings that are broken one way or another. Some are half broken and some are completely broken. And, it does happen. And almost every once in a while I have to replace them because of that. I constantly have them. I had them break on work, or I'll break just talking to somebody. But, they're very protective. I always make sure at least to keep two with me. But, Brent's showing us something there.
Yeah, this is the cloth that I use whenever I want to just like physically
Polish crystals.
like clean the stone. But here's my little hematite heart. Yeah, this thing's heavy. But what I do is pop it in between this. I fold it up like so. But at the same time, because since this is now being consumed in the dark, and the dark just grabs and pulls, so I just squeeze it just like that. Mm-hmm. And good Lord. Wow.
Wow.
Just wanted to be cleaned.
Yeah, it's like I need to be cleaned now. Mm-hmm. And well, it does look brighter.
Yep. Yeah. You can even get the jewelry cleaning cloths too. They help clean the crystals too.
Yeah.
But the eyeglass ones are just as good. But like I said, I bought one that a crystal vendor was selling. Because he's like, oh yeah, I can wholesale them to you because I have a website and I do in-person events. And I was like, oh, okay. And then I realized these are just eyeglass cleaners. So
you sold me snake oil, guy. Yeah.
So, yep. But yeah, so it's you know, you can just do that nice and easy. But yeah, you always want to clean the hematite. And you know what? You don't need to keep the broken ones, Azrael. When my hematite breaks, I give it back to the earth. And I actually usually I bury it in the dirt in a forest preserve that I'll do
Well, let
stuff
me tell you. I'm going to tell you what I'm going to do. I'm actually going to put it, in like, similar to a big uh rag, similar, in the size of what Brent showed. I'm going to hammer it. And on one of my wands, I'm actually going to roll it. I'm going to put some adhesive on it, and roll it on the handle. And then I'm going to put resin on it. So that way it's going to
Oh,
be part of the, yeah.
Oh,
So that's why I'm keeping them,
that okay, that will be cool. Yeah, because yeah, I mean,
yeah.
there are so many things we can use them for.
yeah,
So
like because this is the pendant that I wear most of the time. This is oregonite.
that one's pretty. I'm gonna show my lady that I love.
So we
I've
got
shown her
Alice
1,000
in the
times.
comments down there, and she wants
A reading?
a read.
Okay.
Yeah, but I'm not sure if she wants general or she has a question. So we'll wait on her. That's so beautiful.
Yes, this is
That's
my
a honker.
4-pound Orca agate flame.
That is a honker.
I love this baby. Yeah, it is heavy. But yeah, I fell in love with it and I was like, do I, don't I, do I? Yeah, I got it. He came home with me.
That's like me and kunzite. Like I'm a kunzite fanatic.
Your kunzite. See, now mine is Percelli bluestone and sarsen stone.
Oh,
They make up the inner and the outer circle of Stonehenge. Yeah. So, all right, Azrael, was that a general reading that we wanted, that Alice wanted?
Alice,
Alice,
she didn't
general?
respond back. So I did get. Let
Okay.
me
We'll give
see
her a
here.
second.
Yeah.
I know what deck it's supposed to be, so that energy came through.
You know what? How about I speak for her because here it is.
Yeah.
Okay, so she's gonna give us a question. So yes, Alice, we're waiting on you.
Yep, general or a specific question, either works. General, okay. All right. What does Alice need? What does Alice need right now? Oh, wow. I got the 10 of Wands again. And this one is in reverse again. Like, wow, what a day. So, Alice, I'm actually getting like you're not feeling grounded. You're feeling a little out of the ordinary. So, it's time to ground yourself. So, something has been upsetting you and keeping you from being grounded. And that's like I'm really like with this one I'm really feeling that you feel uprooted right now and it's interfering with the things that you love in life. And so it's like just working through that. Let's get those roots back in the ground. And so it's really working through that, whether you need to meditate or go out in nature. So it's just working through that to bring that passion back out. But yeah, you're feeling really ungrounded, like your roots are just all over the place. And Bren's pulling too. So we're like, this is the cool thing is we're getting all these fun things tonight. So when Bren's ready, he'll let you know.
yeah. We have the
Ooh.
Queen. Now this is the Queen of Pentacles, but this is the Queen of Hellfires in this deck. So Queen of Pentacles, and then the Eight of Wands, but this is the Eight of Bibles in this deck. So if there's by any chance anybody that has weaponized their belief system against you, don't let it affect you, because at the end of the day, your belief system is yours and it's correct. Anybody else's, it don't matter, because ultimately the only thing that applies to you is what you believe and have faith. That's like, yeah, this is what I believe in, and that's that. Because with how this queen is depicted, she's depicted being, part of her is a bit beat up and is being held together by stitches. And with the 8 of Wands being thrown in the lake of, that can show also that, again, I'm really getting a lot of like somebody using a belief system or trying to weaponize a theme of morality at you, like saying, well, that's not a moralistic thing to do. This isn't the most nice thing to do. Well, that is a form of manipulation. That is a way of coercing you to act in a way that they want, instead of how you are wanting to be. Because ultimately, to be point blank blunt, if somebody's hissy fitting because you're not acting or doing whatever that they don't like, oh, the horror. One problem though, that's not your responsibility to make them feel comfortable. No, because that's up to them.
And that would be exactly why you're feeling uprooted. Exactly.
With them, yeah, because with them feeding that in your mind, and it's starting to make you not be able to function correctly. Because again, the way that she's depicted, like if you look at her, she's like injured, and she's like one of her eyes is like poked and it's closed shut. She has a leg that's being held together by stitches. She has like a wound in her arm there. Her dress is all cut up. And then with that 8 again, with all those books being thrown into the fire, it's like because of like how something has been used against you in a way that is not how it's intended to be used. It needs to be remembered that somebody else's perspective, ultimately, it don't mean jack snapple crapple because it's not yours. And don't let anybody else push you in a direction that you don't want to go in. Because again, unless if you're choosing to go that route on your own, nobody else's input matters, unless if you ask for it, which is different.
And I know, Azrael, you've had some great insight.
Well, I'm reading down there. She said, "It's right where I am. It is." And what I'm interpreting from the uprooted makes sense, and what Brandon just picked that card. And what I'm interpreting is that the battle was won. With you, Alice. And the only person that is actually beating you is actually you beating yourself. So you're causing your own damage, and that's why you're ripping yourself. You're being kept whole, but the stitches are there. The cut on the arm is evident, but it's all self-inflicted wounds. So you need to overcome it by allowing yourself to resonate with what you believe is right. And that's exactly what Brand is saying. Yes, yes, what is right. So I think, it's a far cry of worrying about the exterior. Look within yourself, and within yourself, you will find that you will become victorious. You are the winner, but you're going to keep beating yourself. And if you keep beating yourself, you're only affecting yourself, as an individual. Are you going to pull up Oracle?
I am going to pull an oracle. So it's my white light oracle, but please continue, Azrael.
I think, that's what I'm hearing. Like I said, I can't go any further because that's what resonated. I don't want to add any more. Bren and yourself actually brought out the cards, and those cards are perfectly collaborating. And this is unbelievable. So far, both of you are on point together. These cards are beautiful reading.
We're on
And,
the same frequency.
yeah,
Literally
it's like,
the same shirts too.
yes, matching shirts. I'll tell you what, the first person uh, throw a galaxy in here will get a shirt identical to their shirt. I will send it out to you. I'll pay the shipping. A shirt, a blue shirt with a V.
And also, with this 9 of Pentacles, 9 of Hellfires too, because now, what's interesting is that this is showing like how the Queen is like beaten up and she's holding herself together. Like having something else outside of her, like keeping her contained. But now with this 9 though, you notice how with her on this depiction, you see how the wounds, it's not bothering her anymore. It's like she just, it's yeah, it's part of it. It's there. but I'm not going to let it affect me. I'm just going to embrace this time with this bird over here. Yes, I'm wounded back there, but I'm no. I want to focus on this instead. So it's still with that same theme of like making the choice to not let the past harm you anymore and just be like, well, yep, it's back there, but no, I'm more focused on something else I want instead.
So I pulled an oracle card, and I usually pull these when I know that there's like healing that needs to go on, and I really felt like I needed to pull one for you. And your card is the Ivory Wish Fulfilling Crow. So you can see there's this beautiful crow with all these beautiful swirls. This really works really well with all the cards that have been pulled with you. So this crow is going to help you get balanced again, and this is telling you that you need to do the work within yourself. Be strong, be confident, be authentic. Yep, see, you've got all these birds, and actually, let's see. Yeah, I mean, if you look at this, there's a woman, but she's got like almost the same swirls in her hair as all these birds that we have, like the same kind of. So that's like a sign, like let your wings fly. It's almost like the Beatles song Blackbird. Listen to it. Blackbird singing in the dead of night. Take these broken wings and learn to fly all your life. It's one of my favorites. But yes, I think it applies. It applies.
I'm honored to be up here with both of you. This is beautiful reading that you guys are performing here tonight. Welcome in, Tina Fancy Hyatt.
Hello, welcome. We are doing card readings tonight, so I know we have a few people. If anybody else wants card readings, at this point we'll wrap up when we don't have any readings left. So if anybody wants a reading, please just let us know. Please don't forget to give hearts, and like the video, and if you're generous, please give us some gifts.
Share and tell your husband, tell your wife, tell your kids what's going on here.
Tell your dog, tell your cat.
Right.
Yeah, so Tina, if you want a reading, we're doing one card pulls, both Rowan and also Bren. We are doing either general reading, or if you have a question, please feel free to put it in the comments so that way we can see it and receive it, and we'll be happy to have a reading for you.
Yes. We're having fun. We've been showing tarot cards. It's Tuesday Tarot is always fun. That's why it's Tuesday Tarot. So lots and lots of fun.
Good evening, Spirit Star Tarot.
Yes, good evening. Azrael, you're good. You're like, he's such a helper with me. So Azrael's the one that was like, you need to go on TikTok. And so here I am, spreading my wings.
It's a pleasure to see you again, also Spirit Star Tarot. Yeah, Rowan, I know you for a long time, and I, like I said, and I know you need some exposure, and coming on here, it's a place where you can show your gifts. I've known Rowan for 5 to 6 years now, and we been in meetings. And when I talk about meetings, it's rituals and walks in specific graveyards and so forth and so forth. Nothing malicious, but all in touching who we are in our spiritual and physical selves.
Yes, we've had some beautiful, we even in forest preserves, we've had some beautiful spirits come to us. So,
yeah, the most memorable one is when we all were hand in hand around the druid, and we were literally being pushed around by the druid. And then remember the little kid was pushed to the side.
Yes, he was being a little stinker.
Yes, and one of the spirits actually pushed him.
We have to share this story. So we were doing ritual, and one of our friends that was doing ritual with us had to bring her little guy, and he's probably was 10 maybe at the time, But he was very, very hyper. And we were like, you know, you can't be too hyper and you can't, you know, and we're like, and not like, because sometimes we'll dance and drum during rituals and everything, but I mean, he was taking it to a new level, but he was being very disrespectful to his mom, very disrespectful. And the spirits tripped him. And boy, he knew that it was a spirit because he's like, someone tripped me. But he was like by him. He wasn't by us adults. He was like a little bit away. And we're like, yeah, the spirits don't like when you don't listen to your mom. And oh my goodness, right, Azrael, he like, that was all he needed. I laughed. It was funny. He literally was so good after that.
Yes, and it was a memorable moment. You know, it was a very unique, and nobody questioned it because everybody knew. You know, everybody felt it, and we.
Because he's like, someone pushed me, and we're like, yeah, we know.
Yeah, we know.
Yeah, Alice is like,
It serves you right.
yeah, yes, and the spirits were like, no, we're trying to get serious here, and not that it's going to be that long. Yeah, I think it did well, and his mother is actually a medium, and we can tell that he could connect with spirits because sometimes, like, when we would be with his mom, and I know Azra, because we would see her at different places, you could tell that he has the gift too. But yeah, he didn't realize, like, we're like, you know, you just kind of need to be reverent, not rowdy. But he was taking it to the rowdy level, and the spirits were like, no, guess what? We're going to teach you a lesson today. So.
Do you want a reading today, tonight? Depending on where you're at, I don't think we recall if you were across the pond or here in the States, but one card reading. Again, it's general reading, or if you have a question, please post it in the comments, and and we'll be on our way.
Yeah. Yes, and the spirits can actually I have used tarot to connect with spirits before, and that is actually really fun. I mean, they do connect with us. So, I have clairsentience, and Azrael, I know you do too. But Bren, I don't know. Do you have any of the Clara gifts? Yeah.
Well, what's that called? The clairaudience?
You can hear them. Yeah.
Yep.
Clairaudience.
Yeah, most of the time, like, I don't know if you've seen me like on other lives where I'm just like, and I do that. Yeah, that's.
I can hear them occasionally. Sometimes they have to yell at me. But yeah, I can hear them occasionally. And I can feel them. Oh, wow. Can I feel them? Clairsentience all the way. And I can see their auras too. Oh, Felix asking, does it work differently for everybody? Yes. This is my belief, but I do believe everybody has the ability to connect with the spirits, and we all have a gift. It's just, I think sometimes either society or religious upbringings can maybe make you not want to share it, or maybe it scares you because it can be kind of scary. But yes, it does work different for everybody. So,
I was going to say too, I can smell as well. I can smell them. I can smell negative energy by the smell of rotten. And when it's something positive, it will smell like electric wires, like a wire being burnt. It's hard to explain it, but it's like, I don't know if you guys ever took a wire and stripped it and used a lighter to light up and burn it, but that's what the positive energy smells like. It smells like electrical wire. And if it's negative, it smells like literally rotten. It's rotten. It's just rotten.
yeah, I think, Azrael, weren't you there that one time when there was that girl that we were like, you have an attachment, because it wasn't her that smelled, it was the spirits that were attached to her.
Yes.
Yeah, because it was like almost like something died. It was like a rotting corpse smell.
Yes. you'll have that smell,
And I
when you
should have
have an
said
attachment
unalive.
on.
Yeah.
Right, unalive. Was her name Brandy? I don't know. Was it Brandy?
It might have been. It might have been. I can't remember. But yeah, I think it scared her because we were all like, whoa, like you have an attachment. Yep. Yes. Spirit Star Tarot. Yes, they do. I've even had like that sulfur smell before, and I'm like, go the other way. Yeah. I mean, you can get attachments. I think it's harder to get possessed. You can get possessed. I did. A group of us had read a book by a woman who is a demonologist who claimed to remove tons, but like she saw like people were possessed and had demons everywhere. And I was like, honey, like I pulled up her picture because I was just getting the idea that the woman that wrote this book actually had that attachment. And I can't remember the name of the book or what her name is. And the minute I pulled her picture up, because I can see people's auras, and I just pulled her picture up online, I was like, yep, I don't want this book. So I just donated it to Goodwill. I was like,
Maybe it makes me think because there is one that I could think of who that could be. Did the book begin with the word demon?
it says like on the cover, I want to say it said demon somewhere in it. It was like something like,
Demon dealer.
no, it was like Sister of Darkness. And then it said something about demons underneath it, but the title was Sister of Darkness. But she like sees demons like everywhere. And she like said that she's done more than like 30,000 exorcisms. And I'm like, Ed and Lorraine Warren, they did a lot like working with the Catholic Church. And I'm like, you're saying you're way young and you've done more than Ed and Lorraine Warren. So
And even at that, it's like you've done exorcisms. Okay, what kind of exorcisms have you done it with the Catholic way? Because you need to have biblical studies degree. You need to get that clearance from a church.
exactly.
And you have to go through the training for that.
Yeah, she had her own way, but like I said, I couldn't even finish the book because I was like it was like every time I opened it, I could feel my ascended spirit guide, like you're not supposed to read it. And it was like one that was voted for in our book club. And I was like, I can't do it. But yes, Alice has a really good point. If you have an attachment, you can cast it onto other people. Yes, you can. And that was exactly like what my point was when I was reading the book. Was I was like, yeah, this one's a dark one, and it does. You definitely can.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
It's like hearing a virus.
Yep. Oh. Yeah, we're kind of losing you a bit. The spirits are in. They're trying to voice their opinion and sucking your phone energy, Asriel.
I'm getting a vibe of like, yes, don't read that bloody book.
Yes, that's exactly. I mean, literally, when I say my ascended spirit guide, when she comes, I know like it's heavy duty. And every time I tried to pick up that book and try to read it, she was there. And I'm like, I'm not supposed to read this. And it was like a resounding, close it, get rid of it, get it out of your house. So as soon as I did, I like cleansed my house. But yeah.
And that's the thing too that some authors and some people do. Like they've put on their own books, like the cover, like they design or whatever. They put sigils on it that are invisible. And the minute that you make contact with it, it can start pulling on you.
Yep. Yeah. And that's I mean, this woman, it was because literally the little bit that I read, it was like, I can walk down the street and almost everybody has a demon attached to them. And I'm like, Oh, honey, like you have
Yeah,
a
my good
problem.
man.
You have a big problem.
My good
I'm
man.
not cleaning it up.
It's not that, I don't believe you. It's just, have you gone to potential maybe a therapist, possibly?
Yeah, that was, well, what was interesting is one of the girls in the book club brought that up. They're like, maybe she has some psychological issues. I'm like, oh, she's got some negative attachments that are probably helping and cause psychological issues. But Spirit Tarot, I grew up with a lot of dark energies and people. I would not read it either. Yeah. Yeah, it's not. And I don't think demonology is bad. I mean, it has to be there
Mm-hmm.
for the malevolent spirits. Like somebody has, like we have to have people make sure that there aren't malevolent spirits.
Mm-hmm.
And there are some great demonologists out there. There's a guy in the UK, I cannot remember his name, but he's like so fantastic. He's occasionally on some of those paranormal shows and stuff, but we do need them.
Mm-hmm.
Definitely.
And even with also, because I work with the Nordic spirits too, and this is just the perspective that I have, and I'm pretty a bit of a stickler with it. It's like, well, either way, even if it's like a Goetic spirit or demon or what have you, at the end of the day, with the Goetia, you have to keep in mind that this is somebody else's experience with them. This is their techniques with them. How do we know this specific spirit is going to act this way if we haven't personally gone toward it ourselves? Because each connection with each spirit is its own independent connection with you. Like, for an example, a lot of people have a bit of a stickler when they speak about a certain one that starts with the letter A. And whenever he's brought in, he causes havoc, discord, and just all that. But at the same time, it's like, how do we not know if this person who was interacting with this being, how do we know if they were acting out of line? How do we know that they were just saying all these shrewd remarks without even addressing the spirit? Or maybe this person didn't respect him, and that's why he was known to be acting aggressive, acting out of line. We don't know. But for me, my connection with that spirit is more along the lines of, upon arrival, it's this feeling of like being watched heavily. Like every little move you do, it's being watched. That could be a good thing or a bad thing. The good thing is that, well, he's giving your undivided attention. He's not letting anything distract you. But at the same time, it's like being aware that every move you make is being watched, and to just think before you step. Yep. And to be at the highest behavior.
And it's funny. I do cemetery tours with a local company here in Chicago, and we do evening cemetery tours. And I was doing one night, and this girl had a phantom box on her phone, and you can download different types of phantom boxes with the spirits can talk through. But she started getting really aggressive with the spirits, like, if you were to behave the way she was with the spirits in person, you'd be called a Karen or potentially get yourself punched. And the spirits said, stop. And I kept telling her, please stop. The spirits are telling you to stop. And then through the phantom box, they literally said my name, tell her to stop. And I said, I am trying. I turned back around. I said, tell them thank you, turn the phantom box off, and you need to stop communicating with them. You're not being kind. And she was literally telling him, like, dropping the F-bomb at him. I mean, she was being, and I've got other people on this tour. Several of her family members were there too. So she finally did it. But I could tell the spirits were getting so angry. And I literally, I said, give me a second. Let me make sure I have the right headstone. That's what I said to the tour group. And I walked away and I just said to the spirits, I said, I have tried my best. Please do not harm anybody. I said, your anger is with her, not with anybody else. That's all I said. I didn't tell them to attack her or anything. I was just like, I'm trying my best. I cannot control this woman. So we go on, we do the tour, and we had split into two groups. In the second group, we meet up and we're walking. And I kind of told that my friend who's a medium who was on the tour too, I'm like, yeah, I got an issue with this one. She's fighting with the spirits. And he goes, oh, yeah, they're angry. I'm like, uh-huh. And he's like, they're never angry because we do this tour all the time. The spirits, we know them as if they're like our best friends. So like we know that like he was like, yeah, I could tell they're not happy. Next thing we know, they have tripped her. They pushed her down, tripped her, and she stood up. She had a cut on her arm and a cut on her leg, and she just walked straight to her car and waited for the rest of her family to finish the tour. And after that, the spirits were just fine. They were just like, no. And I tell people, like, if you're going to work with spirits, do not aggravate them, because if you go up on the street, like if I went up on the street and told Azrael to F off, I would see if he's going to punch me or push me or yell at me, right? You do that to a spirit, they have a lot of energy and power, and you can't see what they're going to do. So they have the power to do anything, and you can't see it. I mean, some people are able to do it. But yeah, and Spirit
And
Star Tarot said, yeah, lots of people do these, yeah.
and they can actually attach to you while you leave, so that's one thing
Yeah.
too. There's the option of they will stay there because they're peaceful there, but if they will gain that upsetness, a grudge against you, they will actually go along with you. And guess what? You can't get rid of them because
No.
you can't get rid of them because you know
And that's also
yeah, I'm getting a poor
extremely
connection
why
here. Oh,
You're what?
it's also very important, like extremely important, that to remember that in your own home, that's different. Out in and especially for bloody heck a cemetery, you oh you have to be extra mindful, extra careful.
You're at their home. That's their burial place is their last earthly home.
Mm-hmm.
You don't
And
walk in someone's house and say F off.
yep, and I mean being close with a death goddess, yeah, just be hospitable.
Yes.
You're in their place, and that's a privilege. Don't mess it up.
Yeah. Yeah. And there's so many. The one, if anybody's curious, oh, go ahead. Go ahead, Azrael. Oh,
my dad is right there. All right. And and was telling me that it wasn't welcome there. The other spirits didn't want it. It didn't want that spirit.
yeah, that can happen. But I was going to tell everybody, so in Scotland at Greyfriars Cemetery, Bloody Mackenzie is buried there. I'm going to tell you just a little bit about Bloody Mackenzie. Please Google him. Bloody Mackenzie actually was an attorney during the burning times. This is during the witch trials in Scotland. And he actually represented the witches. So he had the witches' backs. However, he was most known, he did not like the Protestants, and he actually basically put the Protestants in. Greyfriars at one point had kind of like a concentration camp type thing for Protestants, and he had them locked there. But people have been attacked by him. But Google, because there was a homeless man who did something, and then several years later, two teenage boys. Well, one was like at adulthood, and the other one was a couple years younger. They did the most horrific thing, and so I understand why he attacks people that are near his mausoleum. But yeah, type in Bloody Mackenzie, and Greyfriars Cemetery. Like you'll be like, holy smokes! Yes, I plan on going there. So we have. I have to take my mummy to a cemetery soon. My family members are there. get interesting. Actually, you know, like when I go visit my family members that are buried in cemeteries, I absolutely love it because I feel like it's like that I can feel them again.
For me, because I mean, I have like this whole procedure that I do every single time I even go anywhere near a cemetery. Like I always ask for permission before I leave the house to go there. Right before I get to the gate, I ask, "Can I enter?" Yep, I go all asking permission for every step that I do, and it's like it's it sounds so minuscule, but it is still taking that time to just because the perspective that I have, it's like anything or actually anybody that's passed away, I consider them an ancestor. Anybody. If I know them or if I don't know them, they're an ancestor. And because of them, even again, I don't know who they are, don't matter. Because of them, they're holding me up because they're underground and now holding me up. So it's like, that's an automatic, we're going to just give them a high respect and dignity because, yeah, they're the reason why we have the ground to stand on.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, and they will recognize you. So one of the cemeteries I love to go to and I've gone to with Azrael and we've done rituals there. There are a bunch of druids buried in a cemetery in Chicagoland. And I have such a relationship with them. It's so beautiful. Sometimes I just go sit there and um and I can just feel them coming around and it is so beautiful and just amazing. And you can build those relationships with them on the other side. They're gonna like the cool thing is I'm like, man, when I unalive, like when my time comes, I'm going to have so many beautiful spirits that are going to be like, hey, you're here. You know, I'm like, it's going to be a party. So I'm going to party while I'm here and I'll party when I'm on the other side. So, you know, we do need to look at it that way, especially if you want to do psychopomp work or necromancy work. You know, working with the spirits is a beautiful thing.
Mm-hmm. And a lot of people, because now when it comes to anything regarding necromancy, now here's the big stickler that I have. People doing necromantic work, okay. This big, all the fancy woozy, okay. Do you know how to caretake and interact with an ancestor in a dignified way? A lot of people don't do that.
Yep.
They just up and summon, which is like, you call yourself a necromancer and you work with the dead, yet you don't know how to treat them. Bullshit.
No, you do have to be careful. Well, I'm going to bring up like Eric. Is his last name Baggins? He has like that ghost hunter show. Is it Ghost Hunters?
I think I know what you're talking about, yeah.
He has like a museum in Vegas where he's got like all the haunted items. He's got like
Oh yeah.
he's got stuff from multiple serial killers. He's got what's his face, the Dr. Kevorkian's van. Well, if you watch a show, and I've only watched a few of them because he's not respectful to the spirits because he feels like you've got to be disrespectful to have them show you what's going on. You don't have to. If you're respectful, you're going to get a better result. But he has been thrown and hit and punched by so many spirits. His eyes are going bad. He's had traumatic brain injuries. Like, you want to be careful. Like, you know, you can see like he's had, and all of this is from his dealings. And you do need to be respectful. I mean, it's like, I have a family altar. With loved ones that have passed, like my grandfather passed. He loved hunting deer. We are Celtic in origin. I bought him a beautiful carved Celtic deer. I get my grandmother flowers all the time because she loved flowers. Actually, both my grandmothers did, and they both loved roses. So I get their favorite color. I get pink and red roses for both of them. You know, it's like just those little things. Like, so if you knew the family member who passed and you know what they liked, you can like put their picture up and get something that connects to them to connect to you. And that's like the easiest way to like start with a tribute. It's basically the same way you're going to work with a deity. You know, if you're going to work with Hecate or Lilith or, you know, Demeter, whoever you're going to work with, you would get something beautiful to represent them.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, and speaking with them. Yes.
Yeah. And even also the most, probably, I would say the most effortless and the most simplistic way of connecting to them is just remember them. There's your connection.
Yep.
If you just remember, now they're alive again. In memory,
Yes.
now you're connected.
And that's actually like, that's one thing with the cemetery tours we teach, is that when you stop and you see like a really neat headstone, is to say the person's name out loud, even if you didn't know them, because you're paying tribute to them and you're like saying, hey, I acknowledge you.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, like I'll walk through the cemetery even by myself. People probably think I'm crazy because I'll go up to specific headstones and I'll be like, hi, and how are you doing today? And I'll say their names.
Mm-hmm.
I have like, I took dance. My dance teacher trained with Doris Humphreys. And Doris Humphreys is buried here in Chicago. Now, I danced back west, but Doris Humphreys is buried here. And when I literally go up there, because she trained my dance teacher, so she's my dance grandma, right? So I literally go up and I say, hello, grandma. And I sit down and I sit and talk to her about dance. You know, it's like a special connection that you can have. So, and you can do that. Like I love Ernest Hemingway. Absolutely love Ernest Hemingway. He is buried in Idaho, but his parents and grandparents are buried here. And I thank them for bringing Ernest into this world, who wrote beautiful, beautiful fictional works, which are actually, most of them are based on real life. But I thank them all the time. I'm like, wow, you guys created this wonderful grandson, this wonderful son, who gave so much beautiful literature to the world. And like right there, you build a relationship,
Mm-hmm.
you know? So I know, like, spirit realm, I run into Ernest Hemingway, he's going to be like, are you my biggest fan or something? You know? But you can do that. I mean, you know, we can go to Al Capone and say, dude, teach us some stuff. Azrael, that's what we should go do. We should go have Al Capone teach us some stuff.
And also, I just got this thought that popped in my head that it just came out of nowhere. And it was just like, why don't you dance for me while you're visiting?
She probably would love that, and I would love that too.
That is exactly what
I should tell. What's interesting is her space, like where her headstone is to where the next row of headstones, it's a wide open space, so I could dance because there's plenty of room.
That's why I had it that way, dear.
That's probably exactly why. And you know what? I have danced for the Druids, so it is time for me to go over and dance for her. So. And actually, I wasn't dancing for the Druids. I was dancing with the Druids.
Yeah, I don't know if you could tell, but I mean, just like.
Yeah. I mean, that's just it. Is like once you make it. So for those watching, once you make a spiritual connection with spirits, they're going to be your allies.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So
Lilith, when she comes through, I mean, it's like I'm aware, but I'm not aware. But it's like she comes through, says what she needs to, and then she goes. But I mean, it's like the energy shifts in a way. Like when I read from where did that go? The Dark Goddess Oracle. I think you could tell like how the tone of my voice was just like, or I don't even remember. Just it's different. It has this pull to it, like, this whole thing about letting somebody have over you. Yeah, that was cute, but now, no, enough of that. I get it, it's so cute to have somebody try to be a puppet and whatever, but no, just cut the strings and walk away. He's not worth it.
All right. I don't see any other questions. So Azrael, anything you want to add? Because we've had this has been a fun night. I mean, it really has.
It was a it was a pleasure being here with you guys, and it was the synchronicity between you. It was awesome, and to verify, I hate to bring it up again, the shirts. but you know what? It just it just proves that you guys are a great team. When you are acknowledging one another, and I appreciate that. And it was a great honor, and it was awesome. I definitely agree with the comment down there. It's been amazing, and I thank you guys for being authentic and sharing your stories and your cards with everybody here tonight.
Yeah, it has been a fabulous night. So, Bren, please come next week at 8:30
Okay.
because we did have like a beautiful synchronicity. And Azriel, you're always invited. So, and everybody here live right now, definitely come back next week. So I'm going to let Bren say a little bit about himself and say his goodbye, and then we'll go back to Azriel. So go ahead, Bren.
Okay, well, so if you're near here, yay. If you've been here a while, well, okay, you already know, so you get the spiel again. So I'm an astrologer. I do both Vedic, which is traditional Indian astrology, and Western. I'm also an artist, musician, do tarot readings. I mean, there's a lot of things that I do, and if at any point anybody wants me to, throw cardstock at them, even also teach them anything that I know. But then again, you gotta ask. But just go into the link tree, and I do have an option that's if you just click on the little button that says sessions, you click on that, then it'll just take you to everything that you can sign up for. Yeah.
And if you haven't liked him yet or followed him, make sure you like and follow, please, and give him some gifts before you leave. All right, Azriel. If you want to share about your live and all that fun stuff.
Yeah, so I do lives on Thursdays. Thursdays, and basically 11:30 Eastern Standard Time, which will make it 8 p.m. 8:30 Pacific Time. Basically it's discovering and talking about the witching hour. That time, 3 in the morning, 4 in the morning, where the veil is actually open. We are aware of it, but not many people discuss about it. And we're going to delve into the history of it and how different cultures interpret it, as well as what we can manifest. I've had many experiences, not only magical, but also, I guess you could say, extraterrestrial. Yeah, within that time, and it does, that is a very vital place. So it's this Thursday, 11:30 Eastern Standard Time, and I usually go for 3 to 4 hours. Look at Brent's.
Yeah, I'm grinning because I know exactly
Yeah.
what you're talking about, and there's actually something in astrology that
Yes.
points it out.
Yes. And
Yes.
I
It's very
always wake
magical
up at the
moment.
witching hour.
Do you have any Virgo placements?
I do, but don't.
Me, yes, I got two of them. I'm a
Yeah.
Virgo, Sagittarius, Virgo.
So if it's if it's Virgo, if it's at the very near end of Virgo, at the very beginning of Libra, that can count. But then it's also at the end of Libra going into Scorpio. So those 2 points at the beginning, the beginning of Libra, the end of Virgo, to the end of Libra, beginning of Scorpio, those 2 points have association with 3 p.m. 3 a.m., the witching hour. So that's really
Yes. See, my Virgo's in one of my houses, but I can't remember which house off the top of my head.
Well, I was born at 3:49 a.m.
See, there you go.
It's all planned. But yeah.
Yes, it is. So that'll be a fun topic. So Ostra will probably be over by then. So I go live Tuesday Tarot at 9:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. So that would be what? Well, I can't remember what the Pacific would be. So
Pacific would be 4 hours different.
4 hours. Okay, so five.
No. You're saying Central, so it'll be you're going.
Well, I said 9:30 p.m. Eastern.
Okay.
8:30 p.m. Central. So,
Central.
oh wait, okay, 7:30 p.m. Mountain.
Yes.
6:30 Pacific. There we go.
Yes.
I usually go live on Thursday. I will not be live this Thursday because I will be doing Ostara ritual, which if you go to my links, you can join Ostara. And actually, I have, like, if you actually look at all my things, if you go to the bunny, it will give you a link straight to get your ticket if you want to join Ostara with me. I go over what it is, I go over a bit of the history, and then we jump into ritual. So it's always kind of fun to do ritual. And then I will be live this Sunday. I will be live with the Anatomy of Spirit. We'll be doing the first section, which is the introduction of the book. So please feel free to join, whether you've read the book or not read the book. It's on medical intuition, and it's literally the seven stages of power and healing. This is a really profound book. So it's very spiritual in nature. So something we can all use to grow. Anything else, Bren and Azrael, before we say goodbye?
Nothing I can think of. I might start my own live in about a little bit, maybe.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay, so
So-
those that are following Brent, make sure to look out. He's gonna do. He might be doing a live. I just want to overall want to thank everybody for their likes, everybody for the gifts, and everybody following us, and also for sharing this live. It was much appreciated. Much love and gratitude.
Yes, thank you so much. We all really appreciate it. It does mean a lot. And come next week if you want a general reading or a one-card reading, and tell your friends. Bring your friends. Let's make it a party.
Bring your
And
friends, bring your mom, bring your dad, bring your sister, bring your cat, bring your dog, bring your pet fish. Yes.
Your pet bird. I have a bird. Granted, he does not like me, and he will not let me hold him. I got him for me, and he loves my husband. But I'm like, hey, at least you love somebody in the house. So, all right. So goodbye, everybody. Merry meet, merry parts, bright blessings, and namaste.